planet Varith 5 was declared a medical write-off by the Galactic Health Consortium on the 14th of March, 2287. The decision was not made lightly. 17 medical teams, representing 17 advanced civilizations, had attempted containment and treatment of the Varith plague. Each had failed, not due to incompetence but due to the nature of the pathogen itself. It adapted, quickly, aggressively, relentlessly, 7 mutations in under 6 months. Each one rendering the previous treatment obsolete. Each one spreading faster than the last. By the time the consortium finalized their analysis, the numbers were clear. Approximately 40,000 infected. Projected survival rate, less than 1%. Resource cost of continued intervention, unjustifiable. Conclusion, terminate efforts. Quarantine the planet. Preserve wider galactic safety. The departure. The evacuation order was executed within hours. Medical ships lifted off one by one, carrying the uninfected, the researchers, the observers. Containment satellites were deployed. Orbital quarantine barriers activated. Varith 5 was sealed. From orbit it looked peaceful. A quiet world beneath a pale sun. But on the surface, it was a slow collapse. Hospitals overwhelmed. Infrastructure failing. Families separated. Hope diminishing. Every ship left. Every ship, except one. The one who stayed. Dr. Yusra Al-Sharif did not argue with the consortium. She did not protest the decision. She did not make speeches or demands, because she understood something most did not. The consortium was not wrong. By every known model, this situation was impossible. But she also understood something else. Models do not treat patients. People do. She had already been on Varith 5 for 3 months when the write-off was declared. 3 months of studying the plague. 3 months of watching it evolve. 3 months of learning the planet, not just as data, but as reality. She knew the water systems. She knew the soil chemistry. She knew how temperature affected transmission. Cold accelerated it. Heat slowed it. Not enough to stop it, but enough to matter. She knew the wards. Ward 6. Ward 3. Isolation block Delta. She knew the patients. The children who still tried to smile. The families who refused to leave each other's side. And she knew Tevith Ka, an elderly Varathian who could barely walk, but every morning, without fail, brought her a cup of tea, even when his hands shook, even when the pain was visible in every step. The decision, somewhere between the first week and the second, she made a decision. It wasn't dramatic. There was no moment of revelation, no speech, no declaration, just a quiet, unshakable thought. Not on my watch. The final order. The consortium sent one last transmission before fully sealing the quarantine. Dr. Al-Sharif, you are ordered to evacuate immediately. This is a final directive. She listened, calm, tired, certain. Then she responded. For words. I'll leave when they do. The channel went silent. And that was the last communication she received. For 11 months. Alone. Time became irrelevant. Days blurred into nights. Nights into mornings. Sleep became optional. Food became secondary. There was only work. She reorganized the medical zones. Separated patients based on symptom progression. Created crude but effective containment barriers using whatever materials remained. When supplies ran low, she adapted. Improvised filtration systems from local minerals. Repurposed equipment. Reused everything. Nothing was wasted. Not time. Not resources. Not effort. The plague. The Varith plague was not just a disease. It was a strategist. It learned. Changed. Every treatment that slowed it down. Countered. Every pattern she identified. It broke. It turned her knowledge against her. And yet, she kept going. Because every hour mattered. Every delay mattered. Every patient mattered. The cost. She rationed her own food. Not as an act of sacrifice, but necessity. There was not enough for everyone. So she made sure there was enough for them. She slept 4 hours a night. Sometimes less. Not because she was strong, but because there was no time to be weak. Her hands shook more often. Her steps slowed. Her reflection, when she caught it, became unfamiliar. But she didn't stop. Month 9. On the 9th month, something changed. It started as a discrepancy. Pattern that didn't fit. A small anomaly in infection rates near one of the outer zones. She traced it, analyzed the environment, compared samples, and found it. a fungal organism native to Varith 5, previously classified as biologically insignificant, ignored by every team before her, because it didn't show immediate medical value. But when combined with the 7th mutation, something happened. Not a cure, not yet, but a resistance. It didn't eliminate the plague, but it slowed it, contained it, held it in place. A wall, rebuilding, and behind that wall, she began again. Treatment protocols adjusted, infection zones stabilized. Patients who had been deteriorating stopped. Then, slowly, some began to recover. Not many, not at first, but enough. Enough to prove it was possible. Enough to keep going. Hope returns. Word spread. Quietly, carefully. Patients who had lost hope started holding on again. Families started planning for tomorrow. The wards felt different. Still fragile. Still dangerous. But no longer hopeless. 14 months later, when the consortium ship finally returned, 14 months after abandonment, they expected silence, decay, failure. They expected to document a lost world. Instead, they found life. The survivors. 31,412 survivors. Not estimates. Not projections. Real. Alive. Organized. Fighting. They found structure. A functioning triage system. Water purification networks built from salvaged materials. Gardens growing between medical tents. Food. Sustainability. Recovery. The doctor. And they found her. Dr. Yusra Al-Sharif. Standing at the entrance of what had once been the primary ward. She was thinner. Her uniform worn. Her eyes shadowed with exhaustion. But she was standing. Still. Working. Still watching over them. The confrontation. The consortium representatives stepped off their ship. Clean uniforms. Untouched. Unchanged. They approached her. Prepared statements ready. Explanations. Justifications. But before they could speak, she did. Very quietly. Very simply. You can go ahead and update the write-off. The silence. No one responded. Because there was nothing to say. The data spoke for itself. The impossible had happened. The report. Later, in the official report, the lead representative wrote only one line. We had calculated that saving this population was statistically impossible. A pause. Then, we were not accounting for the human variable. Epilogue. In every model there are constants, variables, and unknowns. The consortium had accounted for everything, except one. A doctor who refused to leave. A human who decided that impossible was not acceptable. And sometimes, that is all it takes to change the outcome.